السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. تعالوا نكمل المحاضرة بتاعتنا. هات بيج 10 هتجد فيها بعض المسائل على الفيرست ممبر اوف ذا فيرست فاميلي اللي هو 0 على 0. زي ما انت شايف كده يا ابني، في عندك في أول اكزامبل بيطلب منك هات ليميت x squared minus 6x plus 5 divided by x minus 5 as x approaches 5 by die substitution. دي أول خطوة وأهم خطوة تعملها. هلاقي إنك بتدي في الآخر 0 على 0. زي ما اتفقنا مش من حقك إنك أنت تقول إنها 1. زي ما أنت شايف السورس بتاع الزيرو اللي فوق مش هو السورس بتاع الزيرو اللي تحت. طيب نعمل إيه؟ We try to find the same zero factor of both numerator and denominator. طيب تعالى نحلل اللي فوق. الحل اللي كام؟ x minus 5 times x minus 1. طب وتحت x minus 5. So we can cancel x minus 5 with x minus numerator and x minus 5 denominator together. So the remaining is x minus 1. As x approaches 1, this equals 4. So 0 divided by 0 in the first example is not 1, but it is 4. Now, let us go to example number 3. Limit t squared minus 9 divided by 2t squared plus 7t plus 3 as t approaches minus 3. Okay. Now let us substitute directly to obtain 0, and here will be 18 plus 3 is 21, and here minus 21, which is also 0. Again, we can't decide this one, but factorize both numerator and denominator to obtain t minus 3 times t plus 3. This is called, if you remember, difference between two squares. We studied in our first lecture in the course. Now, with respect to denominator, 2t, t plus 3 plus 1. Okay? So we can cancel together t plus 3 with t plus 3 to obtain minus 6 divided by minus 5, which is 6 over 5. As you see, very simple piece of cake. Okay, let us go to example number 5, which is limit 2 plus h to the power 3 minus 8 divided by h as h approaches 0. By the substitution, you obtain 8 minus 8 divided by 0, which is 0 divided by 0. Again, it is not 1, but look, the numerator is the difference between two cubes. So we can factorize 2 plus h minus 2 times 2 plus h all squared plus 2 plus h plus 4 divided by h. Simplify 2 with 2, the remaining is h. And as you see, in the denominator is also h, so we can cancel together h with h. Then substitute to obtain 8 plus 4 plus 4, which is 16. Piece of cake, as I told you few seconds ago. Now, I want you to concentrate in this this coming information, because it is very, very important, and I want you to bring a paper and a pen and write with me. We discuss here two important limits. The first one is limit sine x over x as x approaches 0, and limit tan x over x as also x approaches 0. In fact, this will be the same like limit x over sine x as x approaches 0. Also, the second one will be the same as limit tan x over tan x as x approaches 0. Let us discuss these two important two limits. With me, we have a circle of radius r. This is some angle x. X is measured in radians. X is measured in radians. You remember, we have we studied before two units of measurements. The measures in seconds, minutes, degrees. As you know, 1 degree equals 60 minutes. 1 minute equals 60 seconds. Okay? Now, we have such a circle with this radius capital R, this some point A. We obtain the tangent at point A that intersects the horizontal line from the center. This will be of length t from here to here. This is length t. This is point B, this arc AB. This is height h. Now we have a triangle, right angle triangle, the sides of which h is the opposite, r is the hypotenuse, x is opposite to h. When I ask you what is the relation between r, x, h, as you know, sine x equals h over r. Sine x equals h over r. As you see, the height h is of length less than of the arc AB less than of the tangent t. In other words, we have h less than arc AB less than tangent t. Okay? As you know, h is r sine x. R sine x. The arc AB is rx. The tangent t is r tan x. As you see from this is 90. This angle is 90. Okay? T is opposite to x. R is adjacent to x. So T over R equals 10x. Okay? So T equals R 10x. You may ask yourself how AB equals Rx. Okay, very, very simple. If I ask you, what is the circumference of this circle? The circumference that you say 2 by R. Okay? Why? Because this circle is suspended by an angle 2 pi. Okay, this angle for the whole circle is 2 pi. And the circumference of the whole circle is 2 by r. Now, if I ask you, what is the length of the perimeter this half circle? You say it is by r. The whole circumference is 2 by r, but of that half of the circle is by r. Okay? Why? Because half of the circle is suspended by an angle by. Okay? If I asked you, what about the perimeter of the quarter of the circle? Now this angle is by 2. We say the quarter of the circumference is by 2 times r. So actually, the length of any arc of the circle, you have to measure the corresponding central angle. The corresponding central angle measured in radius. Now, so we begin with x is measured in radians. So the length of this arc is rx, as you see. Divide all of these quantities by sine x. As you see, this angle is acute, no problem. So for someone to say, what would make sine x be negative? No. As you see, it is angle less than 90, so it's a sine. Sine is less than is a positive quantity. Even it was obtuse angle, it is still the sine is a positive quantity. But now divide all these quantities by sine x. So and at the same time we can cancel the r with r with r. So divide by sine, you have 1 less than x divided by sine x less than 10 divided by sine gives you cosine. Now take the limits. Take the limits of all the quantities as x approaches 0. So we have limit. So we have limit 1 as x approaches 0 less than limit x over sine x as x approaches 0 less than limit cosine x as x approaches 0. This quantity is 1. This quantity is 1. So we have a limit which is restricted by 1 and 1. Limited to two equal values, 1 and 1. This is called, as you remember, the squeeze theorem. You remember في نظرية العصر تعصر الحاجة أو sandwich theorem. So limit x over sine x as x approaches 0 is 1. Obtain the reciprocal of both sides. 1 over limit x sine x as x approaches 0 is still 1. This is limit 1 as x approaches 0. Limit divided by limit for the same x as x approaches 0, x approaches 0 is 1 limit. 1 over x over sine over x over sine x as x approaches 0, which is 1. Simplify, it is limit sine x over x as x approaches 0, which is 1. Now, what about the second limit, tan x over x as x approaches 0 from the same limit which already have tan limit sine x over x as x approaches 0 equals 1. Divide limit cosine x over cosine x sine x over x as x approaches 0 equals 1. So this with this is tan. Limit cosine x times tan x over x as x approaches 0 is 1. Limit f times g is limit f times limit g, x approaches 0. But this is 1. So finally, limit 10x over x as x approaches 0 is 1, which is the same like 1 over limit 10x over x as x approaches 0, or limit x over 10x as x approaches 0. Okay? Piece of cake. نتقابل إن شاء الله في المحاضرة اللي جاية.